You are now live on Channel 8 and YouTube.
Good evening. I'm Jessica Sutton of the Templeton Recreation Committee. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I have Candace Graves, Derek Sutton, and Joy Tainter, and Jackie Prime. First thing first, let us do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so everybody has the minutes from last week, from our last meeting on July 27th. Has everybody had a chance to read them?
Yes.
Candace?
Yeah, I read it. I sent an updated, let me copies. Give it to George, one of the ones for this one. The spelling of my name wasn't correct. And there were a couple of just two minor things about it that I had changed, and I sent a copy this afternoon to you, Joy, to add to request that that these changes were made. I had made it to make it easier, but this is, if I was to vote, this would be what I would be agreed to. The other one, my name's spelled wrong.
How is your name spelled?
Candace.
Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah.
It has a, oh, where is it? She gave it to me.
Oh, you have an N in it.
Yeah, it has an N in it, and then when it talked about the, see the line where it changed, where it talks about the money, I put
Oh, yeah,
120, it didn't say it, and then I said how we had a vote and what the vote was for the swimming, because we didn't have the vote, like, it didn't say unanimous, and it wasn't, because Joy had voted yes, so I just put that line in there. So that's the only thing I changed, with those two things in my name.
Okay.
And that's what I would be agreeable to compared to this one. It's not like personal, it's just that if I was to put it in the official documents.
So would we be able to vote?
And vote on the minutes as amended.
Okay. All right. I vote to accept the minutes that have been amended. Derek?
Yes, I agree.
Joy?
Yes.
Candace?
I agree.
All right. Minutes have been approved. You're fine. Okay, so in regards to soccer, I have some bad news. The girl that we thought we had is no longer available to do so. She could not switch her schedule around. So we are now back to searching for a soccer coordinator. When we're searching. So I did find a vendor for our t-shirts. I would like to use DW Design. He said that it would be $7.50 to $8 t-shirt with the design in the front and the number on the back.
Okay.
I would like to go with Dennis. Or do we-
I second that.
Derek,
I vote yes.
Joy?
Yes.
All right, so we are going to use DW Designs. Okay, so for the Unipay, we actually have a meeting on Tuesday. Whew, Lord, I gotta see how to get my calendar up.
I didn't even write it down yet.
Oh, hold on.
The 17th.
Yes. Yes, we do, at 2:30. So we have a meeting at 2:30 on August 17th to go over and learn the Unipay. Yeah, everybody's all set with that?
Yes.
All right. So the Facebook page we have up and running. The admins are going to be Holly, Candace, and myself. Candace worked hard to come up with a picture to make it more updated and more Kansas Warrior Pride. All right, so key holder for the rec. Do we have a key for the rec?
The DPW director has that, so I will get him your phone number.
All right, fantastic. Do I have James on the line? I see his name, but I can't hear him.
Good evening.
Good evening, James. So we've all been discussing your ice skating rink idea. Could you please tell us about that a little bit? I know you've talked to me, but Joy, Derek, and Candace are out of the loop a little bit.
Can I steal the ball?
I just gave it to you, sir.
Host disabled participant screen sharing. So can you try that again?
Anna, can you make Mr. Edstrom a co-host, please?
Just did.
Your screen. There you go. Okay. Let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen yet?
No, sir.
No?
No.
All right. Well, I'll just talk through it then and let me know when you can.
Okay.
So I'm going to give the town about $3,000, and that $3,000 is in the form of an ice skating rink. What I need is the town's approval to do such.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah, where are you gonna put it?
Anywhere the town wants.
Okay, that's good to know.
How's it going to get done?
I'm going to do it myself. Next question.
So you're looking to set up and take down the rink all on your own?
And handle the
Correct.
frozen water.
And how about filling with water?
So that would be done in two parts. I would love the town's support in doing that with the help of the fire department. But if the fire department says that they do not want to, then I'll spend the approximately $700 to hire a tanker truck to come out and flood it themselves.
So let's say that you go with Gilman. If there was any damage or anything done to our soccer fields or our softball fields, would you be fixing that?
Seriously? You're asking me if I'm going to replant grass?
No, I'm
the town
asking
can.
you-
Well, no, that's what you're asking. Am I going to replant grass? No, I will not replant grass.
Okay, so we do have to get through all of these questions just to get a full
Right.
understanding of the whole process.
Sure.
So, I believe- so you expect it to, you would like to see it at Gilman Way is what I'm being told?
No, there are 10 different sites that I've identified. Ultimately, it's up to the town. Jackie suggested right next to the library.
Yeah, that was one they would.
Some of those sites are in front of the fire department in town and the town center. One is around the bandstand or in the town center. Another area is next to the Templeton Library. Another one is at Gilman Waite. Any area within the field or in the paved tennis court or in the basketball court. I apologize. It's been several years since I've been there. I don't know if those are still available.
The basketball
Another
court-
is-
Yeah, the basketball court and the tennis court cannot happen. They have cracks in them. And any water element would make it even worse than what they already are experiencing right now.
That's
So we
fine.
can't-
Again, that is up for the town to decide. Another example is at the high school in the baseball field or in the practice field behind the high school. Again, it's been several years since I've been there. I graduated from Narragansett, so I kind of have an idea, but this was a long time ago. Another example is at Houghton Park and Otter River Center, where the old town or where the old office building used to be. And the last option that I thought of is in the former Little League field near Bill's Used Cars. So there are like 10 different options. I don't care where it goes. Again, that is up to the town.
So would this be like an every year thing? You would be taking it up and putting it down, or is this just this year?
Again, that is up to the town. The intent is every year. I mean, I can't imagine why this would be once a year. The initial investment is $3,000, but again, that's myself. The $1,000 is materials. I already have sourced 500 of it. As I mentioned previously, I've already made a backyard ice rink. So I already have $500 worth of materials, and that would just be donated to the town. So and the $2,000 is purchasing ice skates. So I'm going to I've already worked with Play It Again Sports to be able to source 100 pairs of ice skates.
Oh, so you're gonna loan the ice skates too?
That is correct.
So you're gonna have volunteers, or like, are there gonna be like times where someone's gonna be there to give these skates out to people tomorrow?
So again, this is up to the town. If the town is interested in it, I would love to be able to set up something for the residents of the town to be able to use the skates, quote unquote, rent them, so to speak. The cost is $1 for admission and rental, if you will.
And who would would this go back to you for your overall cost? Is that what the money would go back to, the dollar?
It could. I don't want to spend $3,000, but I can spend $3,000. So if I can recoup all of this cost, I am very amenable to that. But at the end of the day, no, this is a donation. I want to give back to the town. I do not need the $3,000. I don't want to spend $3,000, but I can.
I was just asking money-wise. I was just asking if you were to give money, somebody had to rent a skate or whatever, you would need a volunteer or whatever to collect it.
Correct. So that staffing. So it's unfortunate that you can't actually see my screen. Let me see if I can try that one more time. Let me know if you can see my screen yet. Share this. Can you see my screen yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, all right. I'm so glad. So here's the cost breakdown. I believe Jackie has already seen this, and possibly Jessica, as I forward this to her. This is the breakdown of all the costs. So the admission cost down here is the recouping, if you will. But if this isn't required, the intent is to give back to the community, and I need the community's help to be able to do that. If I'm going to give the community 100 pairs of skates, then I need some help with those skates. So here is the line item for staffing. Here, where is it? Staffing is, where did I
In charge, like, of your coordinator of your program, because it was, if you were giving out, like, I thought it was just going to be a skate thing that people could just show up and skate on. I didn't realize it was going to come with skates and all that too.
Yes,
I understand that the town is looking into the liability insurance issue on it.
good.
Yeah, because you can't do anything like that without finding out who would cover the liability on it.
When I spoke with Hubbardston said that insurance was not necessary because it was covered under the town insurance policy. So
Okay.
I'm just leveraging the information that I've sourced.
Right.
So a couple things come to mind, James. We do appreciate you trying to give back to the community and all that. But, a couple things that we would have to look at as a town would be, where we're going to put it and how we're going to manage parking and stuff like that. Obviously, liability the town is looking into, but how we're going to staff this, whether it would be on a volunteer basis. I would think that if this is a donation to the town, then we probably wouldn't want to charge money to bring people into it. I think maybe you could take, like, on a donation basis, if people wanted to donate to continue to bring this back for following years. I think that would be a good idea. And the safety aspect of it all too. You know, we would have to talk with police and fire and make sure, you know, that they would have staffing available on hours that this rink's going to be open to, you know, respond to any type of emergencies that would happen at the rink. So there is some logistical stuff that we will have to look into.
And
I
then it-
appreciate all of the feedback because this is what I'm
this-
looking for.
And then this kind of a thing, it's a donation, I believe it has to be a selectman thing, they would have to sign off on it.
You know, he's gonna meet with them
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that's good.
Okay, good,
Right.
good.
So this would just probably be, for us, would basically be a vote, if we voted on anything on it, would be basically how we feel about it to the select board. I mean, selectmen, you know,
Yeah.
how we think, but they, you know, what
Like,
our,
we support his idea. I
right,
just have one more question. What about the maintenance of this all?
yeah, like. if it
Who's going to
snows-
do that?
So again, this goes back to the community. I can certainly do it. I don't want to, but I can certainly do it. I've already included, is it in the slide deck? It's not in the slide deck. I already have somebody within town that plows, and I haven't reached out to him about this yet, but I'm certain that individual would be willing to support this as well with the payment included. Now, the entire other side of this is, again, this is a community activity. If there is I don't know if there are local scout troops in Templeton anymore. When I was there, we had Girl Scout troops and Boy Scout troops. I was a Cub Scout myself. My brother was a Boy Scout. My sister was a Girl Scout. I don't know if that still exists, but we could enlist help from them. High school students. I don't know if the high school has a volunteering program embedded within them, but perhaps they do. Maybe the senior center could help with staffing. They don't necessarily need to be involved in the clearing and the maintenance of such, but maybe they're interested in staffing it with the anticipation of the ice or the admission, which you may have suggested against, which is fine. Again, the parish, I used to belong to St. Vincent's de Paul. I'm certain when I was younger, they had a youth group. I don't know if they still do, but perhaps the parish would.
I do like the idea of all this, James. And I think if we were to put it to vote today, just on the idea of doing this, I think, you know, it would pass. Myself, I would have to take a deeper dive into your budget here and your full plan before we could go ahead and vote on it. What I will tell you is I do like the idea, and I think, you know, if we can come to some agreement on what you have here, then we could probably get it to pass and move forward.
What needs to be agreed upon? So 2 parts. I apologize for being abrupt, but 1, why do I need your approval? And
Because
second, hold on. And second, what can I do to help? Any dissent, anything to get that agreement and approval?
I haven't, this is the first time I'm seeing the slide deck, so I have to kind of go through and look at this budget and look at these numbers.
Certainly.
And I need to understand, you know, what this whole thing entails.
Mhm.
And certainly,
And I'm sorry, excuse me. Who are you?
I'm Derek Sutton. I'm the treasurer of the rec committee,
Hi, Derek. I'm James. Nice to meet you.
and you as well.
Can you send Jessica, a copy of do you give her the copy of the slides in the budget?
Right here.
I already sent it to her this morning. I apologize that she didn't disseminate that to the group right.
That be something that I think, it's not just us, I believe that because this has, and I know what the other towns said, but because this has a liability issue on it, it's very important that all departments, including like the fire department, if you're gonna use water from them, all these people have to be talked to. So that's one of the reasons why we have to go through this, you know, it's a government, we have to go through to be transparent.
So I want to jump in real quick. The fire department has already been consulted and they have provided
Right.
support. The DPW has already been consulted and they have provided support. Jessica
Okay.
herself has already been consulted and provided her support. I want to stress this was informally. This was not within any committees, any voting.
But again, the
Whatever.
liability
Yep.
issue for our town has not been, we do not have that information yet as a town to know.
So
what that
taking that one step
deal.
further, insurance is part of my budget.
Okay,
You may or may not remember, if you're a resident of the town, 30 years ago, my parents, Mary and Thomas, part of the senior center, ran a public baseball league in town. It was called Buddy League. And it was for, at their height, I think it was like 300 kids. And so they had to source private insurance associated with it. And the insurance associated with approximately $5 per.
right, and then
Where,
who would hold the?
that is where this number comes from.
Right, so then it would be like, would you make yourself your own entity or something to get your own insurance?
Excellent questions, and I do not have the answer to those yet. Again, this is a idea, and before I had any of these conversations, I really just wanted to know if the town liked the idea or not, and then we figure out all these details.
I think everyone does like the idea, James.
Our town talked about putting a skate, putting a skate rink on the side of the library years ago, as a fun project to do. So it's something that we know that the town, I mean, the residents of the town they were very excited about possibility of it. I mean, it's unbelievably generous of you to want to do a project like this and take it on. And like I said, like you said, you talk to this department, that department, but when it comes down to it, when it comes to this, it has to come down to liability insurance at the town, because even if you're on the property, even if you get your own insurance, you'll still have to fill out forms like you're renting the property, so the town still gets waived off of it, you know. So it's I know it's a pain. It's a pain.
It
that
is.
You have to, but it's part of it.
Was it the devil's in the details, and all good intentions end in the trash?
And it covers you because you don't want anybody coming after you as a person either, you know, with this project. So it's not just the town it's covering. We're doing it for your liability too on your own self. So it's just a way of figuring it all out. And it's not going to be like, snap, we can do this today. I think that we need a lot more information, and we have until the winter. So it's not like, you know, we're only. So
fortunately, this has started 3 months in advance. So I appreciate that lead time. And as far as the insurance was concerned, somebody had mentioned waivers. And if we didn't want to source insurance, then so 3 options. One is if the town didn't want to accept it. Second, if I didn't want to source it personally. And then the third option is having insurance waiver. So for example, someone stands up front with a tablet and says, do you waive liability? Yes. Okay, done. So for example.
Yeah, you can do a liability like that, but I'm going to tell you that if you were to do like a 5K or a bike race tomorrow, that organization will still have to have insurance on it, because even with that waiver, that liability is still there. And a lawyer will tell you that there is still going to be a liability issue. They still can come after you even with that form. So having your insurance as a backup is to protect whoever's putting this on, protect the town. If it's an individual putting something on, it's to have that liability insurance, you know, $500-600 or $1,000, whatever it costs, insurance is worth
So
it.
I apologize if this wasn't clear. I'm not doing it as an individual. I'm just giving money to the town. If the town wants to call it the Town of Templeton Ice Rink, that's fine. If the Town of Templeton wants to then call it the James Edstrom Ice Rink, that's fine too. I want to give money to the town. I want to give materials and time to the town to make an ice rink. Whether if the town accepts that or not is, again, the devil's in the details, unfortunately.
Right, and then the thing is, we have different departments, so that would fall into the rec department for execution of it probably. So
Silly
that's
question. What does the rec department do? It sounds like everything is under the select board. So if the select board says, okay, build it here, well, then
Right.
that's the decision.
So I think,
What exactly is the rec department? What's the role
We
of the rec
that
department?
we would coordinate to get the volunteers if you would have volunteers for this thing. We are the people that would do that. That falls under the community service. We're underneath them, so we would fall into that aspect of it. And you know, if we were expected to do anything in our end to help with volunteering or anything like that, that would be in our genre. If
so ultimately what it comes down to is we have to support this to the selectmen, you know, to make sure the whole project's gonna get supported throughout the
Right.
winter. And as I said before, you know, we do want to support this. We just want to do a little bit of a deep dive into your plan here. You know, before we go ahead and vote that, yes, we can support this.
but we think it's
Some of
wonderful.
the feedback that I've gotten. So Jessica basically said it's a great idea, and here's 10 questions. But the support that I got from, or the feedback that I got from Jackie, from hold on, the feedback that I got from, here we go, from Jackie, Dave, and Bob was all, this is a great idea. Just make sure you get the right support, or make sure that you go through the right departments and dot your I's and cross your T's. So
Correct.
I'm
This is about-
aware of it. I just don't know it. So I'm gonna give Jackie some props right here. She's been fantastic. She's trying really hard to give me the outsider the insight into the town of Templeton. I had the idea of just, you know, driving up with a truck and building it. And Jackie
Yeah.
said, well, hold on. It's actually a little bit more complicated than that. So she's been a lot of help, reaching out to the fire chief, reaching out to DPW, reaching out to Jessica, saying at least get their informal support before you talk to the select board. So
Right.
I mean, she's been a lot of help. So Jessica, I'm sorry, Jackie, thank you very, very much. I appreciate it.
No, we really appreciate this. It sounds like a wonderful idea, and I personally hope it comes to pass with if all the bells are checked, all the checks are checked off for the town for all the departments and stuff. I hope it comes, you know, to pass that this could go through. But again, you know, it needs a little bit more of a plan if it's going to have any kind of volunteer structure to it. For me personally.
So the volunteer structure is up to the town. The intent is to build an ice rink and then drop 100 pair of skates right in front of it.
Right.
The town is then up to figuring out what they want to do with it.
Again, that we would have to figure out if we need to get a coordinator to coordinate this, like we do for our soccer or we do for our softball or swim. So we have to find out as our commission does. We would have to see if that we have to do something like that when it comes to the skate part about it. But putting the rink in general and without the skates, you know, and the liability and without the volunteers, and people could just show up at a certain time, they're allowed to use it, I think would be wonderful. But the other part about it has to be more, to me personally, on a more of a deep dive on how that would work logistically wise when it comes to the volunteers.
I'm sorry, we didn't do introductions first, so I really apologize. Who is this that's speaking?
Candace Graves.
Are you the one that's behind the TV monitor?
That's
Or not
me.
the computer monitor?
That's me.
Yes, okay. I didn't include it in the slide deck for the select board, but there is, so.
Is there a plan for that? Did you have a plan for that?
I do. So I got a plan for everything. Option
No,
A is I build a rink wherever the town wants and I dropped 100 pair of skates.
Okay,
Option two is that I build a rink,
yeah,
I drop a pair of 100 skates,
yeah,
and the town is involved in the event. How about we'll call it that.
Okay.
I think that the town would benefit from an event or events around the ice rink. I know that over the summer I had events around the ice rink that I built in the backyard. Now the events were limited to 4 people: me, my wife, my daughter. I'm sorry, somebody, a friend's daughter, and my friend. So it was 5 of us. So the event was limited to 5 people. But I think that and by event I mean we had hot cocoa, we had some hot apple cider, we had some music playing at some Spotify, Disney soundtrack playing in the background, and had some lights up around the ice rink. I think that would be incredible. And we could have local businesses involved. For example, if it happened to be on the Templeton Common or across the street at the library, Crows is right there. And I don't know if I'm sure they could do hot chocolate, or they could do, or if they didn't want to do a hot apple cider, we could involve the Red Apple Farm, and they could come out and maybe also do some apple cider donuts at the same time. And this could be an event, a community event for either recouping some of the costs myself, or recoup just revenue for the town, one way or the other, or just something. I don't. Again, it's the $1 admission fee, but if the Red Apple Farm wanted to donate apple cider donuts and hot apple cider, fine, or they wanted to recoup costs, whatever it was. But those are all details on events. So that is plan B. Plan A, again, is to build a ice rink somewhere in the town that the town decides, and drop 100 pair of ice skates for the town to enjoy. What the town decides is up to them.
All right, my friend. So we heard everything. Jackie, do you have any?
I just had a question, James. It's Jackie.
Certainly. Hi, Jackie.
Hi. About the maintenance. Obviously shoveling snow if it snows, but what about the maintenance of the ice? Is that something that could be done by boys of a scout group age, or is there level of expertise, required? There must be a small
What I
machine.
can say is for my backyard rink, no maintenance was done. Why? Because it's outside. The sun is an incredible source of energy and heats up water. So you would always end up with a fresh sheet of ice every day. Plan B is that you could just, you can YouTube this. You take a 50-gallon cooler, camping cooler, and you unplug the bottom and put so the water falls out, and then you just put a mop or a kitchen towel on the back of it. So then you just drag it around. So now you have a fresh sheet of ice on top of it. Maintenance is not a challenge. Clearing of the snow, fair enough. But quote unquote maintenance of the ice is not a challenge. We didn't notice any difference or any maintenance issues, I guess, when we used it.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
We're at the fire station. They have everything.
All right, they have the hose.
I appreciate all of the questions and the comments and the I don't know, nitpicking and the details. I don't know. I've never done this. where I've never thought about, well, that's not true. I've never actually taken action to try and do this within the town. And so I don't know all of the questions. I don't know. I haven't thought of everything. I'm certain. I don't have all the answers, and I really, really appreciate all of the feedback that this team is giving me.
James, I think you definitely sold us on the idea of this.
All right. Thank
you
you.
know, let us look through your slide deck.
Which everybody has now. I just
Yep,
emailed it.
and Jessica just sent it to everybody, so we'll look through that. We'll go over it. You said you are meeting with the selectmen tomorrow?
Yeah, so I think not tomorrow, Wednesday. Today's still Monday. It's okay. So so as an action item, please, if you can, please review the slides and provide any feedback immediately. So that way I can then update it, address it, whatever it is, before meeting with the select.
I'm interested in the fundraising aspect of it as a one-time, like, I mean, it'll be there for a while, but I like it as to have a big, like, I like the aspect of, like, remember we had caroling or something at one time?
Yes.
They did like, what they do, like that snow, what is it? I don't remember.
Frosty got
They
that.
did like a parade or something
Yes,
down by the
yes.
thing, and they did a big event. It was, yeah.
So
having
two parts to that. One is I have the money to spend.
Right.
I don't want to spend it, but I have it. So funding isn't the exact issue. As far as fundraising to recoup the costs or to expand or to just have revenue for the town, I have the opportunity. So in the plan, from what I've Googled, there are about 80 businesses within the town. If I expect about a 20% success rate or participation rate within donations, that comes out to about 16 companies within the town of Templeton that may donate to the town. Okay.
I just like I need to interrupt you. I like the idea of it being, like, being there, maybe open for certain times of the period and having but I like the fact, I like the idea of having it as a big event, like it opens up a big, like a fundraiser.
Right. That sounds fantastic. And I want to plug it real quick. I am looking for a 501c3 company, or not company, but nonprofit within the town of Templeton, because I work for a company, and that company has a matching donation grant. So if I donate $3,000 to this 501c3,
right,
I work it out somehow with this 501c3 to agree.
Does it have to be a 501c3 or can it be to the town as a town donation?
It has to be to a 501c3. So the early Googling that I've done says that a HIMSA within the town of Templeton, I think it's over by the DPW actually. There's also a Toastmasters, I think is a 501c3. That's over by the wastewater treatment plant. I know, random. I don't know it either. But Toastmasters is a 501c3. 501c3 within.
I made a 501c3, so I know about 501c3s. I made one.
Fantastic. So that is the clincher. So if possible, I would love to partner with a 501c3 to be able to double the donation.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What would you call the one that does the Easter egg hunt in town? What would you call their organization?
Lions Club.
They would probably maybe something. They not no.
Dance at Boosters.
How about this?
So there's a difference between a 501 and a 501c3. So I believe this has to do with tax exemption. The school is tax exempt, but they are not 501c3 certified. That
So
is
their booster club isn't, I didn't know if their booster club is.
What would be the dimensions of this rink?
so the intent, again, it's up to the town, but the intent is for almost in a NHL sized rink.
Can I interrupt you, please? She
Oh,
asked what the dimensions were.
that's what he's answering.
Yeah. So the intent is for an NHL sized rink. So NHL, National Hockey League, is a 64 by 200. I built a 32 by 48. So what I'm hoping to do is a 32 by 200. So almost the same size as an NHL rink. Like, was it the Gardner Veterans rink in Gardner? Or any, I guess, any rink that you might visit, indoor rink, that sized, but maybe not as wide.
Not quite as, that's big. That's big.
It's huge. It really is. It's ginormous. But again, it depends on the site.
I'm just thinking that I might not decide a
So
library.
So a tennis rink or a tennis court is more than adequate. If
I'm thinking Gilman would be a better
Yeah.
location.
I don't think Gilman would be a better place.
no, hold on. So if Gilman is decided, the grassy area is fine. If
Right.
Gilman is decided, the tennis rink is more than sufficient.
Well, we're not
So
gonna
so
support
what
that.
you're telling me is the size of that tennis court would be a good size for you to make this thing out of, so that would be a good
Correct.
size. Okay,
But
So that's a-
but again, it's very dependent on the town. If the town says, you know what, the best area is in front of the fire department, but the fire department is only a 50 by 50, for example. Well, guess what? The town decided that the fire department is appropriate, so that's where we're doing it. And my idea of a 30 by 200 won't happen. It's just a 50 by 50.
Go ahead, Joy.
We need it to be where there's people to monitor it.
right,
Right.
yeah.
Look at what the kids are doing in Gilman Way.
Yeah, I already
Oh,
went down
yeah.
to that.
They're
Yeah.
destroying
See
it.
Hodgkins.
Say that again, please.
I did both.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were discussing a location.
Yeah, I like I said, for me personally, I feel like, I need to look over your budget and I need to, see what the, selectmen think. I mean, I don't know I think that they're gonna probably need more information too, if they don't even get that liability details.
What information do they need? Because I'd really like that feedback before I talk to them to try and fill up.
Gone over that. I think, James, we need to look over your numbers.
Yeah.
We have to go
Okay.
through your budget. We do have to look at location, public safety. We have to get the liability information, and we're going to have to provide them with some sort of feedback for staffing. I think on your end, I think you've probably provided us enough information to run with. But at this point, I think, like I said, you've sold us on the idea, and I would move that, we table this until at least after the selectmen discussion. So we have their feedback and we have, we can decide on a path forward.
Right, yeah.
And as we said, we do have plenty of time, before winter to go ahead and get a plan.
Hopefully, it's not going to be cold anytime soon. So,
Fingers
Oh, I
crossed.
personally thank you. I think this is a wonderful idea and I wish you luck and I hope that, I hope we can work together, but right now I have to wait until I see some more, I have to go through that slides myself and look at all those numbers and look at everything and think about if there's going to be volunteers, what organizations in our town. Like you said, you're looking for a 501c. So I'd like to see if there's any in our town when it comes to the booster club for the high school, if there's anything that they, I have to look at some more data and for information for me first.
so I have a few quick questions. One,
Yeah.
could you step out behind the monitors? That way I could see your face.
I just want to say I have a background in doing events, and I just like to see more information, but I do thank you very
Right.
much for talking to us tonight.
Yes, thank you very much and have yourself a wonderful day and good luck on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Thank you. Please review it. Let me know of any feedback that you have. I really appreciate it. I view it as the select board makes the decision. So any information that you could provide to make that a successful meeting as possible, I really appreciate it. Please, please, please.
We will do that. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, moving on. Would you like to explain this to
Yeah, I can do that.
Derek and
Did
Joy?
we want to take like a motion or anything to say that we, we vote?
Yeah, we're gonna motion to table this until the next meeting, Joy.
Yeah, the ice skating rink, yeah.
All right.
I vote yes, Candy votes yes.
Oh, Derek,
I seconded it, yes, I
Yes.
vote yes.
I will as well. Joy?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Candy, can you please?
Okay, so what I noticed is we have to have ability to do an online sign up, forms that you do electronically online. And with everything with all the COVID and all the things that we've gone through the last year or so, and we just don't know where we'll be when it comes to a lot of that stuff. I was, having people coming in and out of the building, and I know that we're trying to move with the Unipay to go into that genre of not having to come in here for everything. So I looked to see what they offered online, what kind of program, and I noticed that one of the signups for the basketball, I don't know if it was 2018, it mentioned this this particular company that I looked at. I looked at a couple of different ones, but this one called me back and I asked him some questions. So basically, it's a software program that you pay to use. It's $349 for the year. You can do so the rec softball coordinator could go into it, set up all their teams, put all the coaches in there, and then the coaches could go into the program too. So then they could use it to email everybody, to talk to everybody if there's any updates on their program. The registration for the players, parents, they can go into it, they can register, sign the waiver, and we can do is, what I'm being told is that we would be able to zero it out so that we can go to our Unipay instead of using their pay system. So they told me that we could do that, put a link or talk about going to a link. Once you do this step, you go to that step. And so basically it would be to organize the different, from the soccer to the softball to the basketball, and give our coordinators a tool to use for them to take some of the time off of energy for them to, get in touch with it, but also to give our chair and our organization, our commission, a chance to be able to monitor and have that access to all those emails and stuff, so that if we want to, like, we had a fundraiser or something, we would want to use that to our advantage too.
Does it go to text messages as well, or just?
I think so. I'm 100% sure. I mean, like I said, you can do more of a dive. I played with as much as I could, but I can see free version, what they sent me.
Okay.
But it definitely does the email. I know not everybody does email, more people do text.
That's
So
why I was asking.
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, all I do know is that the basketball person used it. They used the free version. Obviously, they must have done that, and they use probably the coach version versus the league and coaches, because the league and coaches is a bigger package. They would have had to pay for it. So I talked to the people there, and so we can use it for all three sports, and it would be a way. And I said, could we use it if we did swim classes, and we want to use it for registration to do the waiver for swim classes electronically? And they said, oh, sure, you can use it for any sport. It has like every sport under the sun listed in their program, or in fundraisers and stuff. Like I told them, I said, we're a town, and so a government, so our funding, any paying that we do, like for fees and stuff, has to go through the town. And I made that, and they said, oh yeah, you could shut that part off so that you could just take the registration, is what I'm being told. And so it's from if we were to sign up for this, it'd be from this year to next year, it'd be $349. And they said that if we went over, because it says 75 athletes, so say our basketball had 150 of them. He said that they said that they would charge us like they'll be, you know, I said no hidden fees. I want no hidden fees in anything you tell me. I want you to tell me everything. So like there's a tournament setting. If you were to do that, I didn't include it, but it was $299 extra. We wouldn't need that because we're not having
No.
tournaments. And the website, we wouldn't need the website, and that was like $500 if you want to do a website. But if you're just giving your coordinators a tool to put their schedules in, to coordinate their teams, take some of the pressure off of them, putting these things together, it's a tool that, you know, if for us to pay for, to have the coordinators do, and a way for us to monitor, you know, the sport that they're coordinating together, to have our chair or treasurer in the program to look
Matt.
into it. So, I mean, the one that, I seen that, flag football uses a similar one.
Yeah.
They're paying just like $800 to do their the one they're using. This is the most, like I said, I don't know if I haven't found any problems with it, any glitches in it. If it, you know, jams up or anything, I haven't seen any issues with it, but I've looked at, but if that's something that we want to get into, to get something like that to help our coordinators out that we're hiring, to give them a tool they can use in some way so that we can harness the emails and stuff if we want to go into the electronical world, because everybody is going electronical for their signups. And it's also touch feel, you know, giving the germs going into the building of the town. Maybe you can't because of some reason. But I like the fact that it has the health thing. So if we had to do a health check thing, we're not asking them for their personal life story. The coach is not asking them for their personal life story. They would go in, they would get sent a, like so many hours before the event.
Yeah.
The parent gets sent a thing and they answer the questions. And if when they go bring the kid to the event, they show their phone to see if it's green and that they can participate. So I like that. This organization is doing it. They're pretty much the only ones that they're doing it during this season of what we have for COVID, and that's why they put it together for their for the team staff.
I do like the research you did, Candace. Just looking at it from a pricing, I mean, this doesn't seem that bad, but do you have any other sites that responded back with prices? I'd just like to do a comparison.
Okay, so if you were to do a rec one, to do like a recreation, they have those packages of software. They go for $2,000 to $3,000.
We don't have to.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. I just.
So I went, okay, so I said, okay, we're not gonna look at that because our town's not gonna do that.
Yep.
So I said, okay, what are leagues doing? So I looked at different leagues. So I went into the one, it's the one that does the the Peacock NBC. That's the one that flag football did. So I tried to get them to call me back, but they wouldn't. But I did see their price online, and it started point was $800. And I don't know if that with the website or without a website, but it was $800, and that was for the league, And I just couldn't get anybody else for the different platforms. That I did a couple of different other ones. I can't think of the names of them, but try to get an active email account to somebody. They didn't work, so I figured those systems probably are no good. But those are the only two. Those two, and I did have somebody, because I use the platform Run Sign Up. I use the platform that is RaceWire for my personal use for signing up races and stuff and doing registration, and they do the waivers, and that's where I got the idea from, that there must be a platform. So I started looking at the different organizations, what they did around the surrounding towns. And the only one I could really, the school has it. The school does it for Gansett to sign up their athletes.
They use this?
No,
they
something
use
similar.
so they have something family. I looked into that one, but that was going to be one because they're doing the schools, so it's going to be very pricey. Yes, and I didn't know if that was an option, but because the school and us are separate, our town is separate from the school, so I didn't think that would probably be an option that we'd be allowed to use their system to do waivers and stuff.
Probably not. So again, just to confirm, now this total price, this $349 comes out to $369, almost $370 after these other fees that they put in up here.
What other fees?
These annual fees, merchant fees.
Okay.
credit card
All right. So
transactions.
this right here is the thing we're not using. We're not using that. That is Unipay for us. So we wouldn't do any of
Okay.
that. And that piece they're talking about here is what, so if you would have someone sign up online and they were gonna sign up for, the pay portal. So if I was to do, soccer and I use their program, it would go into like PayPal or whatever they're using, and it would say, okay, you accept this fee of $1, whatever, on top of it. You know how they do that?
Yeah.
Right, that's what that's talking about. That's what that breakdown is about. That's their thing.
Okay,
It's $3.49 for the program from start to finish, and this would be passed on. So if you would use their paying program to take the money in through there, but if we're not, we're using Unipay,
Mhm.
then you would take the option where, well, that's what I do for my races. You take the option and say
I see.
that the participant would pay the
Okay.
fee. So if the fee breaks down to $1 or $2, like when I pay the town for my light online, it costs me 50 cents if I use that program, the Unipay online, 50
Mhm.
cents. So it's the same approach where you're paying that, but that's what that is. So that
Doesn't
wouldn't
matter.
affect us. And even if it did, even if we went with their system, which we're not going to, that again would be passed on to the person signing up for the registration. You would pass that fee to them.
okay, so this $3.49 per year, then, you said that would cover all 3 of our seasons?
All our sport, everything.
this
All our
year.
sports?
Yeah, I said, is there a cap? Was
Yeah.
if I had 20 sports, 20 leagues?
Mhm.
Yep, fine.
All
That's what
right,
they
so
told
that
me.
really,
That's what they told me.
assuming we run 3 seasons of sports this year, that would
Right.
break down to $116.34 per season.
Per season.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
To do this, and I think we probably would have the money in the revolving account to cover that.
I just, like I said, I like the fact that, if maybe not something we do right now, we want to research it more and go home and research it and play with the see what you can see about the program, see if it's a good program. But I think that, for our coordinators, I think it'd be a wonderful tool. Like I said, I coordinate a big event, and I like to have the tools online to be able to use to my discretion.
Yeah, so we don't have a soccer coordinator currently. We do have a basketball coordinator.
You
It
could
might
get
be
his
worth
input.
reaching out to
Yeah,
him and
see what he
seeing
says.
what his thoughts are on this.
I agree with
I already
that.
wrote it down.
Perfect.
And have him look at it before we,
So, yeah, I think we
because the person that, I think his name is Owen, the person that got back to me, that
Yeah.
I've been talking to, I asked him the question too, and I haven't got it back yet. I wanted to know, I forgot what I asked him. Oh, I asked him, I says, how would our town pay for this? Like, how would you suggest we do it, since we're not an individual, with a
Mhm.
credit card? So I
Right.
asked that question today because it didn't dawn on me, how would we go through that process? That if we're signing up for a program like this online, how
Oh,
would we
yeah.
go?
How would we do
Yeah.
that?
That they would invoice us, right? And then we
Probably.
could just do a warrant.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I asked him, can you guys do an invoice? So that was the question that came to my mind today after sitting in whatever, and I decided to message him.
you're
and
still
ask
waiting for
him.
an answer on that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
haven't gone through my emails yet, but I.
So I think this is a good idea. I mean, I would
Oh, yeah.
probably move that we table it till next meeting, once you can get Xavier's input and we have those
Right.
answers. and
Because I
we
don't
can
know
make a
who it
decision.
was, like, I know he did the basketball, so I don't know if it was him who was using that
I'll
system
ask him.
and what he thinks about it, or if he has a different one that he thinks, but I mean, for $349, I could not find anything.
Right.
Like, I'm just gonna tell you that I'm like, look for the cheapest thing I can find for anything I do. And when I see the 2000, I'm like, we're never having a program like
Nope.
that. And when they called me and said this, I said, are you kidding me? I'm like, is this for real? Because I use my platform, is free for my race sign up, so it doesn't cost me anything. That's what I was looking to see in the world of sports, if there was anything for coordinators.
So are you gonna post the motion? You want me to do it?
Yeah, I move that we table this till next meeting, so we can gain some more or gather some more information, and then we can make a decision at that point.
Miss Joy?
Yes.
I
Candace?
agree.
Jessica agrees as well. I have a question. Can we post the basketball job like now?
Sure.
So that way we can get everything else squared away and set up. I'm nervous about soccer. I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous. So, I mean, if we can get basketball started, or not started, but
Yeah.
lined up a
I
little bit.
second that we post it now, so that way we can get the hiring done on
Yeah.
that.
Yes,
Derek,
So he can start the
Yes.
program, that way too, he can put the input on this if he wants
Joy?
this tool or not.
yes, you agree with that as well?
Do
All
you
right.
want to just post the one or more than one?
So are we, because we didn't have swimming,
There was no money in
There
the
was no
budget for
money
swim.
in the, okay.
But I think with the rec donation account and the revolving account,
So I would be
I
able to
think,
give,
yeah, just to give Xavier some help.
right, because he
um,
said that he would like to have two people, for one for the middle school and one over at the high school, and that he would do the umbrella part of it.
Okay. Do you want to decide on the stipends for those 3 positions tonight? Or I don't know if they need to be in the job posting. It probably would be a good idea.
Can I speak with him first?
Sure.
Would that be okay? Can we
Absolutely.
table that to the next meeting?
Yeah, we can do the coordinator, put that one out first, put the ad for the coordinator out first. That way we can move on him.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can put in whatever he recommends and how he wants it listed for the assistant.
Okay.
If that's who's gonna be our coordinator, let's just say it that way. You know?
Xavier, you have no choice. I already told him.
Right, and then we can find out what the stipend on that would be.
Okay,
You know, if it's gonna be, he's gonna get his typical stipend and we're gonna do 2 different separate ones to make it.
yeah.
That would bring the program up to more on par what I think it should be. It hasn't changed and
Mm-mm.
my research, I went back, whatever was online, 5 whatever years for rec, and it doesn't look like any of that numbers had moved in all these years. For like at least 5 years, maybe 10 years.
I just have so much faith in him that he's gonna make it great, which in turn will bring middle school, which in
Now-
turn will bring high
Now, I
school.
have a question. Did we have an adult basketball, or was that something that the high school had
Nope.
done? Was that a pickup game or something?
That was us. We had a men's league.
Okay, would that be something he'd be doing too?
No.
Okay, so that would be, so how did we do that?
How did we do that?
We didn't, Fancy Boy did. Can't
Oh,
think of his name.
Jason handled that.
Yes,
oh,
yes.
okay. So was it basically like a pickup game? It didn't really cost us any
I
money?
think it was like 30
Like they
bucks.
showed
I
up
don't
and they
think
just
it
had
cost us
teams?
any money.
Did they have leagues? Does anybody know if they had like?
No, I don't think,
individual
I don't
teams
think
or
it
if it
was that
was-
well organized.
So you think it was like, the softball they've been doing down at, Gilman Way, where they show up on a Friday night and or they pair them off in teams and then they can just
Probably.
use the gym?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of a
Yeah, do they
thing?
need to ask us to do that? Not ask, but like, hey, we're gonna.
Well, he's on our, he's, I don't know if he's got paid the paperwork or not and got sworn in yet, but the person that did it is was voted to be in our commission.
Oh, so Dean then.
Is that what his name? I don't know what his
Is
name is.
that his name? Is Dean, right?
I'm not
Dave.
sure.
David.
Dave
David.
Manzello
Why
is
don't
Yeah,
you
he
call
was the
him
one-
Dean?
He was the one
Sorry.
associated online for that pickup
Okay.
game. They called it a pickup
You
game.
know, how come Aaron and
The
that other
softball.
guy?
They're
isn't-
both
They are both on vacation,
Oh.
and Chris is on vacation, and we were on it last week.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Yeah. Everybody's on vacation.
And you were on it the week before.
So we get, yeah, I would like to do something for the adults for basketball and have a gym space, reserved within the Gansett system when we put in for the reserve. So if that was something Xavier can do for us,
Or they call it the men's league.
yeah, to say, even if it's not a full league, even if it's just a pickup game that we can have like on a weekend night or something to use the
Can
gym.
we not call it men's league?
Well, I don't know if the guys like girls do it. I don't really know. Play with them, co-ed.
You can't play with me.
I think.
No, my husband did one for the YMCA back in the day, and let's just say it came back with fingers all messed up and stuff. I mean, you don't want to play with them. I'm just saying.
I think, to be
Fine.
inclusive,
Men's league.
we may want to make it a co-ed league. It may just be men that sign up.
Yeah,
Or
right.
we could see if the ladies would like to have
Right.
their own.
right,
Or you could do that.
right. But even if this year, it's not a full league, it's more of a pickup game type of situation until we can progress to get like a coordinator and get the town to give us stipends for
Right.
that. Because we won't have all this stuff. So whatever this is, it's gonna be probably a free for all like situation.
So
Yeah.
what
We don't have
about,
a stipends for it.
I have a question. So what about if we post like on the Facebook page, just throwing ideas out there, what do you think about like a men's league and a ladies league?
Right.
Would anybody be interested? What do you think about that?
Yeah, anybody interested in coordinating something like that?
Yeah,
That's basically what you're looking for.
yeah. So could we do that?
Yeah, you can put anything out and ask a question. You could say, this is an unofficial question from,
Well, we could ask if, we're gonna get the participation and.
we could do a survey.
I'm
Yeah.
just thinking if we're
Online
moving
survey.
forward with, secondary or assistant coordinators, we could always assign one of them the task of coordinating this league. I'm
Oh,
thinking
yeah,
it would
that's
be
a
a
great
small
idea.
league, but
Yeah, that'd be to give them experience, so that way it's carrying it on. But, yeah,
right.
right, give them the experience to throw something together for this. But it doesn't have to be as fancy as the kids ones, but something to, like, because it's not like this kind of a league, I know this from my husband, they only have, like, people come home from work and then they go and, on
Right.
Sunday night or
Right, right.
Saturday night or whatever it is that they do these things.
Okay. So we're gonna post basketball.
Right.
We're going to do a survey on the book.
We did vote on posting the basketball, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Did we vote on having, the posting of the coordinator? The basketball coordinator's job
Post.
posting.
Yes,
I
we
said-
voted on that, yes?
Let's just do it
Yes,
again.
we did.
Okay, we did. Okay.
Okay.
So
we're gonna-
do it again.
All right, so before we close up here, we went to part of my pronunciation, Houghton's today, and you said that you went as
I
well.
took pictures, yeah.
That's disgusting. Here, have a look. The fact that somebody in our town or another town would vandalize that is disgusting, and I would like, once we get all going, or even before then, I would like to have the Templeton police be there more often, and I feel like these people should be held accountable for it. That's destruction of property. That's disrespectful to the property, to the people that put it there, to the man that it's supposed to honor, as well as themselves.
Now, is this the park with the fence that they wanted to replace? Is this the fence park?
This is where the old Ottawa school used to be.
Right, I went in there today and I looked at it. And yeah, the swing sets and everything's still the same. Now, that's supposed to be the site for the veterans park that they had voted for and did whatever.
Right,
for.
I was under the assumption that that was gonna be like in the front
Right,
before the
that's what I
flagpole.
thought.
But since you brought up the playground,
Yeah.
that's just one big hazard.
Well, I was told that they were looking into ripping down the gazebo.
Mhm.
And I don't know what they plan on doing after they rip that down, which I think is a shame because it has a lot of good bones to it.
It
I
does.
think,
It needs
yeah.
a new roof, though. It definitely needs a new roof.
But I do remember when they put in the things for the baseball, they put the dugouts because they know how old, pretty much because they did it when my oldest one who's sitting here was in T-ball. And we came one day and we said, oh, these are nice. We have this nice little awning and
Mhm.
stuff. Now, if you look at that, they did a great job because they used metal involved in it. So it definitely needs a paint job. And I don't know if that would be a project that, I don't know, something like your, the service projects that you see that scouts do and things like that for their communities to repaint that.
It could be. My concern was the actual playground itself and
Yeah.
the safety of the
Rusty.
equipment
Yeah,
there.
it's
metal.
bad, yeah.
It's
And I don't know
rusty,
what the
there's
town,
there's no swings.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I don't know what the town plans on doing. I know the gazebo, they're talking about ripping it down.
I don't think they should do that. There's no shade.
Yeah, I
That would be
know.
like,
Well, at one point when my kids were little, we had a play group. And at one point they decided that we were gonna have two play groups on one day a week, we'd have it at two different spots. And so we had it there, so when it rained and stuff, the kids went underneath it. And the other one was at Templeton Center, which that was where it always was at Templeton Center.
Yeah.
But people in the community of Baldwinville really wanted to have the playground in their community over there on that side of the village because that's what they asked for. So what the compromise was that, I don't know, remember if it was 3 or 4 days a week or 5 days a week, the playgroup was. And what happened was on one day of the week, the kids in Baldwinville got to have the playgroup in their town over there. And then I don't think we had ours on that day. It was a day that we were off and they were on over there. And then everybody went on those other days here. What I'm saying is they did use the shade, you're right, to get out of the rain and stuff to have it there. And a couple of games where parents left and the kids couldn't get in the cars of the adults, they
Right.
went underneath there for safety when they played the ball games.
so how do we
Baseball.
find out who has that?
yeah, who's in charge of restoring that equipment or looking
Taking
at
it down, or what are they gonna do
I
with
think
it?
at the moment, it would be buildings and grounds.
Yeah,
And I know that in the fall, there is a plan to kind of create a Parks and Rec commission. But right now, I think it's buildings and grounds. As far as the vandalism issue, I know that that's also, as Joy mentioned, problem up at Gilman.
Yeah.
And I think maybe sending those photos and,
Oh, I'm gonna post them.
well, I've sent it to the town administrator with
Yeah.
your concerns about Houghton and Gilman Waite, especially where we're talking about possibly, putting a
Right.
skating rink there, so.
Well, I also don't like, the fact that there's a teenager driving his golf cart around Gilman and burning things, not burning, but doing donuts and stuff like that. Also, I think that that's extremely disrespectful. And I know your name.
What about the fencing in that park? The
Houghton,
Houghton Park?
Yeah,
That's falling down and it's a danger to
is
the,
that, now is it,
it's bad.
yeah,
I
is that
took
something
pictures
that
of it. I
fall
have it on my
under,
page camera at home.
building grounds?
Well,
I think
have
it
to-
is buildings and grounds.
Okay.
We may need to, I know we met with Adam Lamontagne today,
Yeah.
and he did talk about, possibly using a little bit of the leftover
Yeah.
Fajari money for,
to fix that.
There is no leftover.
I didn't think
Fajari
so either,
money.
but he said there was $10,000 left over.
Oh, yeah,
There isn't?
no, this,
Isn't that what?
it's all supposed to go to Gilman Waite, and the town keeps taking it and
Okay.
taking it and
So
taking it.
that's for the Gilman Waite. So if there was a fence at Gilman Waite, we could vote and say, yes, take the money from
Yeah.
that account. For Gilman Waite, the part, whoever's in charge of that, to say yes to that.
Right,
Right, but that money's not for this other part.
no,
other part
not
would
at
have
all.
No, and I
Yeah.
don't think the rec committee between the donation account and the.
Yeah, we
community
don't have
service
enough money to
revolving
put a fence in
money.
right
Yeah,
now,
well, we
no.
have,
Right.
we believe we do have $10,000 that was given to us. And I'm not exactly sure who gave it, but that was all the money that we have. There was nothing left from
Right.
the Pajari fund.
So how do we
Is that
find out,
something, there's some, I'm
do
just
do we
sorry.
have a ledger on that, or does the town administrator have some kind of a ledger or some
That's a
kind
good
of,
question.
bank statements or something where we can kind of track this money that was given?
I can ask our accountant, because the budget versus actual, and that's what I asked him today, because I've never seen anything specifically marked as Pajori, in the budget versus actual. I haven't seen that. So I don't know if there is money left over, where it is, if it's in
Okay.
some other account that I'm not recognizing.
And the other question I would have for them is, regarding a ledger or some bank statements or something, our revolving account. I'd like to see
What went in and
what
what
we've
came out.
spent for the
Yeah.
last couple of years. I'd say at a
Sure.
minimum, the last 2 years. Just so I can have a better understanding of how we've been spending money.
Well, maybe you should go back 3 or 4, because
I
I'm sure we
would say
didn't
go
do
back
anything.
at least
Okay, yeah.
5.
Does
Well,
that-
whatever they can get us, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah.
I will ask the accountant.
All right.
and her
Hang
assistant.
on.
Because we've never been given anything like that.
Right. And it would help to plan projections for the future and,
Right.
All right, so say we get soccer up and running,
Right.
what are we gonna do about the snack shack?
I have no idea.
I think
how
Adam
that-
is going, I think we're looking to getting a coordinator to be in charge of the snack shack.
I don't
Like
think
we-
that they did that before.
But okay, so this is what I was thinking in my head after I was talking. If we had an overall coordinator, okay, a snack coordinator, shack shed coordinator, right? That's the top tier, right? Because they were talking about, because they're handling money and stuff, that they should probably have a stipend.
Mhm.
And they were in charge of this because it would be like, I don't know if they have it for soccer, but they have it probably for softball maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe, yeah. So if we had that and that person worked hand in hand with whoever was the coordinator for that sport at the time, would be softball that would be their sport. And they would help them use that tier to get the volunteers from the parents and stuff for that particular sport to work. Everybody works a shift or whatever in there. But the coordinator would be the one who picks up the money and drops it off to the town. I think that's what we would kind of, that's what.
Well, I think that the softball league, they do all the ordering, all the work,
Okay,
and
they do.
everything like
I
that.
mean, Gansett
Yes,
with Mr. Kirby, he does that, right?
well, Mickey does it,
Mickey,
yeah.
Right,
And Mickey uses that money for more supplies and whatnot.
okay.
And the town doesn't see any of it, and
Okay.
Mickey does all the work and probably gets very little thanks.
So
Right.
should we reach
But
out to
making it a
Mickey?
title and
I
making
would-
it,
Mickey is the one that I think is probably the only person that knows what's going on over there.
So that would be, yeah, that would be a good thing to do. I do like the idea of having a coordinator, somebody to kind of manage
Right.
that.
Can we pay them?
A small stipend for it.
Again, we do have some money in the revolving account where if we were going to do a small stipend, we could probably swing that.
Right,
Well, he's been doing it for nothing all these
Right.
years.
right.
No, I understand.
But,
but
yeah.
He kind of manages it for Narragansett.
He manages it for the softball team,
Right.
and then who does it for
I
any
don't
other
want to
teams,
put
know.
more on his plate, I would
No,
say. So
right.
I think maybe we have a conversation with
Just
him. If
yeah.
he would be willing to manage it
Yeah.
for us too, for our sports, then great. If not, then we could assign a coordinator
Right.
that could work hand in hand with him
That could be, yeah.
to move that forward.
Right.
How do I get a hold of Mickey Curtin?
How are you gonna get a hold of him? Call him on the phone.
Joy, do you have his number?
He's in the book.
What book?
Well, I got a
Joy, who has phone books?
I got a 10-year-old book that I use.
Google?
You would probably do that too. I have
All
no
right,
clue
oh,
on
I
that
will
one.
search. So is it Mickey or Michael or?
Coordinator. These levels of swimming for the liability insurance, ability. And she said she was gonna talk to somebody about it, because right now, you can only find lifeguard classes, the WSI test. You cannot find it even right now, like nobody could take it if they wanted to. And the Red Cross has SBI or something test instead, which is 350, and the people in aquatics in that department do anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are
and
you
it's
kidding me?
ridiculous. Why
They
do
don't
you
know. The aquatics of the Red Cross do not seem to know much, but I
No.
did get, and I have it in the packet of all the information I gathered and all my thoughts and notes. But,
I'd like to try to step away from the Red Cross. If we
Absolutely.
right, but that's why I talked to the Y and Ethel, and I said, what happens if you guys had a program that we could get a certificate to say? And she said, well, I'll look into it, because I said, I'm looking for the S whatever, but I have all the breakdown of the Red Cross. I also have, I don't know if our administrator in our town wants to talk to
So
him,
what,
but is the big wig from Massachusetts who's the Red Cross, and that would person be able to tell us what, as town-wise, what, if we qualify for anything through the Red Cross or any You know what I mean?
What is the
No.
Red Cross certifying these people for? Is it simple life-saving?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
that's
even
part of it, yeah.
life-saving,
I
because
have more.
The life-saving, you've gotta have a 10-foot pool, you have to really do those inside.
Okay,
For life
so,
saving.
right, so my question is,
So you're getting nothing from the Red Cross,
Why
and
can't
why
we-
bother?
Yeah, well, I just
That's why
thought it's summertime
we got
now,
out of
it's the time to talk to people, even if we're not gonna vote for it until later on. or
so
to
if we
hire.
can, why
It's good
can't
to
we have,
to
you
have that
know,
information.
members of the Templeton Fire Department certify our swim instructors on basic CPR and life-saving
Yeah, didn't
skills?
Jamie just go through? Jamie just went through
Well,
something.
Yeah.
we did have, so the volunteers and our assistants for the swim, and even Terry, I believe she got certified a few years back. They went to the classes with the fire
Yes,
department,
they did.
and we did that, and it was all like CERT and everybody, like even CERT people were there because they had to be recertified. So
Right.
we all went to a certain day, they took the thing, the classes, and those who had a certificate got that certificate, and those who starting fresh had to start fresh to the thing, and the town did do that for us. But the swim, the other thing about it is the levels, like your coordinator, for the swim program needs to be able to teach the basic, the skills and, the diving and yeah. So that's why they were WSI
But you have
certified.
no equipment up there to
Right.
do anything with either.
Right, exactly.
So you
And the-
can't
yeah.
teach the Red Cross because
So-
you don't have everything that you need.
Why, right,
They're for indoor pools, they're not
Right,
for outdoor
right.
pools.
so why
Right.
can't we tailor our training for our swim instructors to what we're actually going to be doing?
Right.
We don't
Exactly.
need to go and cover all of this Red Cross stuff. It
Right.
just doesn't make
No.
sense.
But didn't Terry say a couple meetings ago that they needed some kind of certification, like the town is requiring it?
Right, so,
Why?
right, I'd like to
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
get some
Am
information.
I right in that?
Yeah. It's insurance.
It's an insurance
Yeah.
issue.
Right,
I
so
mean,
I'd like,
they can get the certification for the CPR through the fire department and stuff. But the question is that, well, I don't know if we need more than that. That's the question that we would be asking the town. Do we need more than a certification of the CPR? Or do we need more of, the lesson? I mean, because obviously whoever we hire will have to have a background in swimming and know how to.
CPR and
Yeah.
water safety is basically all we need, and I'm pretty sure we can get all of that with working with the fire department.
Yeah.
Can we find out what we need for the insurance,
Yeah.
through the town administrator or somebody?
I just like to find all the information
Yeah.
for the swim now in the summer months.
Yeah.
So people are thinking swim, then you go in the winter and everybody goes, what, swim what?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to get rid of it. I don't know if we have to charge or if we give it for free, but I really believe this town will totally 100% do the swim program.
We can't charge over Joy's dead body. We are not charging.
and I agree with that. I
Like,
don't
even
think
if we
should
have
be.
fundraisers to help with this, yeah,
I will be,
yeah. Well, my
resigning
form does
very
say, my
quickly.
notes do include the added cost that if we had to go through the Red Cross, how we would raise the funds to pay for these added costs. For the town, yeah.
well, not through the parents, I should hope.
We're gonna try our hardest
Right.
to not do
So
that,
this-
Joy.
Yeah.
I know.
But it does say on the first line, we give it for free. That's what I said. And this
Yeah.
is the breakdown. Is it $5? Is it $10? Is it $25? And this is how you would do it if you had to do it. But I would like to see it for free too, because I feel like more kids come, they learn how to swim and,
They got off their phones away from the textbook.
Yeah.
And we had 2 drownings in town, and then all of a sudden, their whole families came to swimming lessons, and they needed it.
and if you've ever seen what it is, like when they recover somebody. It's not-
Yeah.
Oh,
And the cost to our
glad I
town,
never
yeah,
have
but for the
seen.
town to invest, in my opinion, in a swim program, free of charge, to little kids to learn safety and to learn basic skills in the
Right.
water is priceless compared to what it would be to a family or to what a program would. I mean, even just the fire department to go find the diving
Yeah.
crew. I mean, all of that, the statistics on that. It's astronomical, the fees on that.
And this year has been horrible because of all the rain,
Yeah,
which,
well, you had the police officer in Worcester.
yeah,
He
there's
went
been
down.
several.
They-
But with all this rain, your undercurrents are so strong.
Yeah, that was the
A
kid
normal
in,
person
I don't know if it was
can't do
our state, but they were walking or something, the kid went under
Yeah.
and they never found him.
Oh.
But that, I think that's, was Gloucester or something
Yeah.
like that, that is, yeah, it is us. Yeah, he wasn't, like, he was fine and he was
The
working with his friends
undertow
and he
has
went
been
under.
horrible this
They
year,
couldn't find him.
everything.
All right,
Heartbreaking.
So let's set a date for our next meeting.
Okay.
All right, so we're trying to get soccer going on September 11th.
Right.
As of right now, we don't have anybody.
Yeah, well, we gotta push that.
Yes, we
We
do.
gotta push that. We gotta find somebody that can do this. I mean, like I said, I think that if they just do the little, basic co-ed, little, we
Yeah.
do not worry about the middle school ages.
That position was posted, right? for
It's-
the
yeah.
coordinator?
It's on the town site.
I've been
Maybe
posting
we
it.
have to broaden and start sharing things into other towns, like other, I don't wanna say yard sales, but other ones like in other towns, because maybe the person isn't from our town
Right, right.
that wants to put this together. The coordinator doesn't absolutely have to come from our town. They just have to be someone who can do the job. If there's a coach out there that coached it back, that kids were in it, or maybe they currently are. But I think having a platform to have for a coordinator would help with taking some of that burden off of a coordinator too.
I like the idea about posting it in other towns.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we want to keep it in
I don't
town.
know. Can we put it on the big electric site? Looking for a soccer person.
Yeah, who did we talk to about that?
It's either emergency management or the police. I can't remember who's, emergency management was doing it originally, but it might be the police department now.
Okay. So,
Who has the soccer in the high school or middle school?
Oh, yeah, we should contact those people. They have a best
See if there's somebody there that would
Because we were
do
gonna
it.
need them for refs. We're gonna need their students for refs. We're
Some
gonna
of the
need.
parents, but a lot of the coaches are getting so much abuse from parents that nobody wants to take anything anymore.
Right, yeah, probably contact whoever their soccer coaches for the boys and girls.
Yes, definitely.
And see what they can come up with for us. Because this is the elementary, I think that's all we can probably kick off now is the elementary till, kindergarten to 5th grade level for co-ed.
Mhm.
It's probably what we can come up with this short notice. I mean, I don't know about, I know that they do traveling, like they compete against other towns with traveling, and I don't
But
know
that's
about,
a travel program,
Yeah.
that's another thing.
Right.
Yeah, we
I
did.
don't really
Coaches
know
get
about the
that
soccer program too much.
it's
I knew more about basketball back in the day and baseball.
age 3 to, I want to say 5th grade. Because I think we cut it off at the middle school.
Okay.
I'm pretty certain that that's. how
Mine
it
did, I know mine played as a 6th and 7th grader, on the ref program back in the
Yeah,
day.
it would be
for basketball, but I
beneficial
didn't know
for
about soccer.
these middle school coaches to maybe want to jump in and get some involvement in here,
Mhm.
especially if they're gonna be trying to
Yeah, it's like
recruit
a little
kids
farming
into
team.
it,
Right, yeah,
right.
right.
So, yeah, why don't you reach out to them? Maybe we should meet again in 2 weeks. And, if we don't have a coordinator by then, I would say we're probably gonna be out of luck for the season
Yeah.
because of the dates.
This is
But
gonna be
hopefully we
heartbreaking.
can.
It's
pull
absolutely
somebody
going to be
in.
heartbreaking, but they're all being sent to Chair City.
Yeah,
Well,
we know,
yeah, there's nothing we can do about that, unfortunately.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna take some time to build back all of our rec programs. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, COVID took a lot of stuff out of a lot of different programs and stuff, so now we're just all rebuilding. Everybody's
Yeah.
going through it.
We can only do the best that we can, and I
Right.
feel like
But
we're going
I'm
to.
glad that we're gonna put out the thing to hire the basketball coordinator, and hopefully someone steps up. And again, we should probably find out if they've even hired the soccer coordinator, soccer coach for Gansett too, to see who that is, to get that
Mhm.
number and say, hey, do you know somebody? Start getting that, because that's way ahead of the game. That puts us way to ensure that we might have a soccer program. I don't even know what that looks like. I didn't have girls.
Oh, it's softball. I was
Softball.
like, what?
Oh, soccer. I mean, sorry, softball.
You
softball.
confused me.
Softball, I'm
right,
sorry, I talk
softball. Oh,
backwards
no, no, no.
sometimes, I get a little backwards.
That's funny.
Softball, yeah, so anything, I mean, I know that the AD, I believe is, Gagnon, what's his first name? Benjamin Gagnon for that, so he could possibly get you the numbers for these, or at least pass your emails on, or your address or whatever on to these coaches, if he has any of them. I mean, that's the person probably really talked to, is the AD of Narragansett,
And it's been,
And Gagnon.
Gagnon. And this is great for Narragansett, for the high school, because they're high school level athletes.
mhm.
If they volunteer as referees for our basketball or soccer or whatever, or help coach or whatever it is that those students do, that's something they can use for their applications for college,
Mhm.
you know, to say.
It's also a graduation requirement to do so many hours. of
Yeah.
community service.
Right. So putting our rec program back on track to make sure these things happen the right way with, you know, the partnership with the high school to us that we should be there. And then just making sure that, the only other thing I want to say, because I'm thinking of it right now for the partnership, is that any shirt or anything has a small disclosure somewhere on it that says Templeton Rec Commission or Department or something, because the town of Templeton, we don't get that in recognition for the program. It says, all the program shirts I've seen say Gansett Rec. We're not Gansett Rec.
Right. All right,
We're
well,
Templeton Rec.
I will have
And I
Dennis
hate
fix that.
that we're against it. We're now against it.
Right. I would like to see, I mean, or even to just bring it back on the shirts to say Templeton Recreation, just to put it back on the shirt. I understand that we have people from Narragansett that that live in Phillipston, or we have, you know, school choice kids and stuff like, I understand all that. We have the villages, Baldwinville, and I get that we were in our unique, I mean, I have the name Candace and then my nickname is Candy, so I totally get the fact that you're known for one thing and you have this conflict of having a different name. But I really believe that the town needs, as Templeton, needs to have the credit for their rec department.
Yep.
You know, because I think that a lot of people associate the Gansett basketball program, the rec one, with the high school.
Mhm.
You know, I understand we use the coaches and we give them stipends, you know, whatever, but we have to, I mean, the coordinator.
Yeah, so I think when we do the shirts, you know, we can come up with a design and then
Right.
we can kind of present it here.
Right.
And we can vote on it and
Well,
move forward.
Why don't we just tell DW Designs what we want?
We can
And
do
then have
that.
him bring us a couple
A sample.
examples.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you guys don't want it, if you want the
Yeah, I think
answer,
that's a
but
good
she
idea.
likes the Narragansett, and I just feel like the town pays the stipends, you know?
I'm conflicted because it is, like I said, little farming teams for our school.
Right.
Even if it
And
says, you
it
know,
is Narragansett.
Templeton Rec, and then
But there-
maybe on the
I
shirt
think-
it says Warrior Pride or something,
Yeah.
just to kind of
Yeah, you could do that too.
incorporate
Because the more
both.
you put on the shirts, the more
Yeah.
they're gonna charge.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But I just feel like I said, my kids they went to Narragansett to a certain point, and then they went to Gardner, so we did school choice for the last 2 years of my oldest one. And, so it is what it is, you know, like they have that in Gardner, so they can go on all their stuff. But we're using Gansett because of our high school, because of the fact that we have villages. We have Baldwinville, we have Ottawa River, and I understand why they probably went with the Gansett, you know, the Narragansett or Gansett on their shirts, because they're too inclusive of those towns and stuff. But when we all go to vote and we all get our tax bill, what's it say on it?
Templeton.
Yeah, and who's not, and we have to start understanding that we're always gonna be like, I lived in Fitchburg and I lived in West Fitchburg, but you had Clegon and you had all the different sections of the town. And I think that's, I mean, I understand they have their zip codes and some of them and stuff, but we have to understand, you can't be everything to everybody.
That's
And the
right.
town of Templeton should, you know, the seal behind us should get the credit for any rec commission, and that is our legal name, Templeton
Absolutely.
Recreation.
All right, so yeah, we can make that happen, I think.
Definitely.
Okay, so,
Sorry.
no, it's fine.
I think that's it. I think that's all that's in my brain from now on. I think we covered it all. I'm good.
All right, so when works for everybody? So we're gonna meet up in 2 weeks and
Okay.
decide what we're gonna do with
Anybody have
soccer?
a calendar? don't
I
know.
do.
Okay, look it up.
Here we go.
All right, what do we got? I'm good. What do you guys got for 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
The only thing open that week is the 26th.
What's the 26th of January?
This is St. Anthony's
Thursday.
Festival.
Is it really?
Yes, we go over here.
17th and 18th are open.
No, Derek's in Philly.
30th and the 31st are open.
That's
That's too far.
a
Okay,
holiday.
so let's come back early.
I think
On
we'll have to
Thursday.
do the 26th, yeah.
All right. Miss Joy, does the 26th work for
Is
you?
that what you said, the 27th?
Probably.
Thursday.
Thursday, 6:30, is that time? If we do, okay.
All right. Rec meeting.
Hopefully we have good news and we have a soccer person. Like
That would be
I
great,
think, I
yeah.
think that's a great idea to talk to the AD
Yeah.
or the person from soccer from Narragansett. I think they probably have a good lead on that.
can't own that.
I'm gonna be a gym teacher for elementary school. so I
Somebody
don't know.
help me.
All right.
All right, so I motion to close this meeting.
I second it.
Great.
Derek,
Yes.
Joy,
Yes.
and Candy, you already said
Yeah,
yes.
I said yes.
All right,